Welcome, everyone, to a very special live recording of not just one, but two of our favorite podcasts, Clash Tours and Pineapples and Thorns. I'm Kat, and I'm joined tonight by the fantastic Fado, and of course, the most wonderful Pepsi host of Clash Tours, C-Note. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Hi.
And welcome everybody in the audience.
Is Clash Tour sponsored now? Did he work that angle?
Sponsored by Pepsi.
We're sponsored by Rage Quit.
Sponsored by Rage Quit. That's right.
Rage
or
Quit
Gemmit.
Cola.
Or Gemmit, yeah. Or Clash Vision glasses.
Well, Gemmit does have its own logo, so. And we know who is the spokes frog for Clash Tours.
We cannot even go 1 minute into the show, and you got to bring that up.
Sorry. Sincere
it
apologies.
got brought up after Pepsi.
We're going to talk a little bit about Clash of Clans, and then we've got a bunch of questions from the audience, and then a few other little bits and pieces. So Clash of Clans is 11 years old. What do you guys think? Town Hall 15, Apprentice Warden, Super Hog Rider, tons of other things. Builder Hall 10. Good or bad? What do you guys think? Fado?
Not enough. Like, you mentioned some of the good things, but here are some of the bad things. More levels on various defenses.
Are you saying that's not a good thing?
As an attacker, no. 11 years, it's been around a bit, right? It's going into 6th grade. Yeah, I've played with a lot of this stuff, though. I haven't touched the Builder Star Jar because, as we'll talk about a little bit later, the Builder base is still the Builder base to me.
Mm-hmm.
Super Hog Rider, use that a bit. Like, there's some really good, like, some of the big whale stuff on that is pretty interesting. I haven't had a lot of success with it, but there's a handicap when I'm operating the iPad. So,
See, what about you?
Yeah, quite an accomplishment for an app game, right? But I honestly, when I started playing this game, did not think I didn't start right away, but I came in probably the second year it was out and did not anticipate still playing the same game a decade later.
Yeah, it sure has come a long way from the very beginning with the sort of, very simple animations, and now everything is very, very nice looking, and they've done a really good job on, I think, overall.
Yeah, they've kept us interested, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from what they lack, I would say that the social aspect of the game has kept us engaged, that it kind of fills in whatever the game is lacking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that social aspect really, though, isn't like built into the game. It's been stuff that the community itself has taken on, including and that's how most of us ended up in Clash Files, right? Through
Mm-hmm.
friendships, and not because we're out there winning, tens of thousands of dollars in tournaments, but we're just a hell of a lot cooler than them. Sorry.
Well, we are the coolest kids on the block. What can I say?
C-Note's on this episode, Kat, so you got to take that into consideration.
Well, that just doubles I was going to say that doubles the coolness quotient because you are Clash Tours, right? So, what do you guys think of the what they've done with the league skins and the scenery? So basically, you have to get 2,000 SCCWL medals in order to purchase one of these things. And I've seen a few people buying the scenery. Have either of you bought one of the skins? See?
No, I'm medal challenged right now because I'm trying to upgrade my account. So that's something that I'll probably do down the road. They look super cool, and I think I have one account that actually got the King skin, and it was definitely worth the price. But I think they're digging us in for the long haul because that's going to take a while to get those skins.
So what they're telling us is we have to keep playing.
Yeah, I mean, you can't gem it, right? So you actually have to play. But I mean, that's something I said a long time ago, where they're starting to make war, granted it's CWL, but war more, there's something viable, something you're working towards rather than just going through the motions. And that's definitely a prize at the end of it all.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, especially if you're in a lower league clan, see down in Crystal or something, you're not going to get as many medals, right, as those people up in, the higher leagues, like champs or whatever. You really notice the difference in.
It also helps to win a single war during the week.
Winning you speak of.
No, I don't know. Until they have like a siege machine that's the what is it, the DeLorean from Back to the Future? Like, no, I'm not going to buy any of these future skins.
Well, you know me, I bought them. So far, I've bought, well, we're kind of jumping ahead, but I buy any skin that there is. And then this is just an incentive for me to be in every CWL from here to eternity to get these skins.
Yeah, well, yeah, because there's a difference between like the the league skins, those are the ones that you buy with the CWL medals, and then
Right.
the regular skins you buy with like real money.
Right.
So, but what would you rather do? Would you rather for $20 or $30 you could buy that skin, or would you rather get that medal?
You're talking to the creator of Gemmet here. So I think it's all clear what I would do.
Beta, how about you?
I haven't bought any of these things since what was it, the Dark Ages ones? I bought that whole set. I did the seasons to get the two. I can't remember which of the two heroes, but I also bought the other two, and I bought the scenery. But I'm being a little cheaper these days, and I mean that hasn't been that long. It's only been 2 or 3 months on those. I think 3 or 4. I don't know. The ones that were before the future ones, I didn't have any use for. I did buy the 10th anniversary ones just because there was such a weird, like, I like the sounds that came with those heroes, like the ancient
Those with
video,
like the old
video
pixel
game
kind of
sounds.
Yeah.
I don't know. I dug that.
What was really nice is that they gave the barbarian one like to everybody for free, which is I thought that was really nice because people who maybe they don't buy the gold pass ever, and then they never can get a skin for their heroes. So I think that was really nice of them.
Generous, right?
Very generous.
Yeah. It's like they give away the first hit, right? Like a dealer. Or am I the only one
I need the whole set, right? Yeah.
I'm the only one that interfaces with dealers.
I get it.
Family show.
The Clashiversary challenges 1 and 2. Have either of you tried them and or beaten them, Fado?
I did the first one. I better get on the second one before it expires. First one took a little bit of doing because there was always an order of operations. I think shout out to Trample Damage. I used his guide for that, and so I got to go looking for his guide for the second one.
I think it was posted in a couple of the servers that I saw. So see?
Well, before I go any further, I had to do that. Fuzzy, that was for you. The opening of the Pepsi.
Oh gosh.
I did the first challenge and I didn't use any videos. I literally did the color by numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Took me like 2 tries and I kind of figured out, how to do it. I have not done the second challenge. And I hate to say this, there's not a lot of incentive to do those for me, because you have max spaces and the little bit of gems that they throw you is fine, but it's sometimes just not worth the aggravation.
Yeah, I agree. It's, when you're trying to manage various clans and trying to get for you have, I don't know, I've lost count how many accounts you have.
Me too.
You're trying to do all these different attacks in wars on various accounts. And then all of a sudden they give you this nice little...
There's a reason he has the name C-Note. It's basically the amount of money he spends each month on Clash across his various accounts.
Well, people call me C, and I like to think that kind of means chameleon because I'm everywhere with accounts.
I always just thought it meant yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it could. I have a hard time saying no.
Okay, so more things that we got. Well, we talked a little bit about this, the future scenery, the skins with the Warden King, so that was nice. The ability to cancel a super troop came our way this year, and that was much needed, I think.
Yeah.
You guys happy with that?
Yeah, because I mean, once you get like enough books and enough hammers done, you're kind of back to easily maxing your dark, and it comes relatively cheap just to cancel them. Relatively, like it's a bummer though when you're upgrading. Like every last 25k, especially if you're in Legends, it means something.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I mean, and now you can only buy the Ultra DE like once a week, right? So
yeah, that's a painful feature they introduced.
See, do you like that with the Dark Super Troops for the DE, the ability to cancel them?
I honestly, I haven't even tried to cancel one yet. I'm super lazy, so whatever I've got trained is what I roll with in war. I've been quoted as saying, I try and fit a size 10 foot into a size 9 shoe, and I keep doing it.
Have you ever gone into a war attack and oops, my army's full of the troops I meant to donate to the defensive CC, so there's like 12 hounds, 7 ice golems, and then your heroes? No?
That's a scary feeling. That is a scary feeling.
I think almost everybody's probably done that. It could just actually might be a new meta comp is like all his hounds and ice golems. Yeah, could roll through pretty good.
I'm sure there's a creator out there that would probably pick it up and try it.
I would totally try that. The clan chat survey, did you guys do that one?
Yeah,
I did.
I responded, but come on, are they really going to do any of these things? but I responded.
Yeah. I mean, I know that in one of the Reddit forums, Darian had mentioned that it was on their to-do list. So it looks like that they are thinking about it. And it's nice that they, even if they don't really apply anybody's opinions or results to whatever their final decisions are, it's that nice to see them trying to engage the community on something, I guess.
Doesn't it feel like they're trying to turn clan chat into Discord though? I mean, I get that feeling. Like I guess I'm kind of bah humbug about it because I really I want clans to be able to merge their chats. That's what I really, really want. And I'm not the only one. You know, I know, Kat, you've been quoted as saying that you would want the same thing. And I would really love that aspect because you're bringing friends. So say my clan Shimmy Jig could, be in conjunction with Redthorn, and I get a chance to talk to all my friends in Redthorn, and you know what I mean? It would just go on. And they're really kind of ignoring the elephant in the room, and they're trying to make it more gimmicky, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a way that they could ever, even partner with a company such as Discord to, provide a service to run the chat and then build that kind of feature.
They'd be getting so far outside of the thing that made them money. They need to stay the heck out of that. Like if they really wanted to focus on like value there, they need to find a way to create clan families where the requests donation requests pop up across everyone's chat. I like the idea of putting the FCs in a different tab because all of my 7% 0 stars could be hidden away. Who cares if someone likes a comment like in chat, right? The ability to reply to a specific chat message is fine. But come on, like I know when one of my comments lands, Lolly will be there to laugh for me. Other than that, like, don't get away from your bread and butter. Focus on the game. Like focus on like all the things that could make life easier for players. Stay out at we have Discord. Why get too far into that?
That's a valid point. Don't reinvent the wheel.
It's like when Pepsi gets into trying to make like weird promotions and just stick with whatever that poisonous toxic sludge is.
Just go back to your 7-Up.
There are no silly promotions with Pepsi.
not even the greatest pop star of all time lighting himself on fire.
Okay.
Right?
All right, let's not go there. Let's talk a little bit about the Gold Pass change. So they gave us a price increase this year. Happy Clash anniversary. So it works out to if up in Canada it's about $2 extra.
Yeah,
and
same here.
To be fair to them, it's the first increase since I think Gold Pass has come out that I recall. They've held the line on it for a long time, and they tried to give us a few tidbits, such as adding bank for the builder base, which people might like that.
It really kind of just directly affects how many I buy. I typically buy 4 on the regular, maybe 1 other sometimes if I'm really kind of pushing an account. So it's kind of cut that in half. Now I'm buying 2, maybe 3. Their explanation of it and actually your interpretation of it, it almost is eerily similar to what my landlord told me when he was raising my rent. So I haven't raised the rent in years. So
I really held the line. I was going to ask you something here, and I totally lost my train of thought now. Okay, Beto.
Yeah, so it's $2 extra as well, $6.99 US. And I mean, you get back to doing is I kind of used a lot of books, a lot of this, a lot of that to help speed along maxing my 15. So I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's probably more gems than it used to be if you were to gem everything out. And it is like an efficient use of $6.99 if you just turn them all into gems, and hey, a skin at the end, yay. But I guess the bank is kind of interesting for the builder hall, I guess, if you're into that. But it's $2 extra a month, so I'm still a slave to it because I'm kind of a completist on this account. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you find that instead of buying one pass in the App Store in game, you're navigating over to the Supercell store and buying them in bundles? So like you're saving the humongous amount of 10%.
Go ahead, see.
I haven't even used the App Store, to be honest with you.
You haven't? No?
I haven't even tried it yet. No. I have been generously gifted with gold passes recently, so
from your adoring fans.
Well, they're fans. Sure, I wouldn't call them adoring, because that would insinuate that I'm mildly attractive, which that isn't the case.
If they're throwing money at you, you're doing okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not complaining, and I try to shout out whoever is being generous. So I honestly have not even visited the shop. I couldn't even tell you where to go, honestly. I kind of live vicariously through you, Kat, hearing you go into the shop and buy things.
Well, because normally I do buy on 3 accounts. If I'm close to finishing a 4th that I'm farming, then I'll buy it on that one just to get it over the edge. Yeah, I meant to go and stock up a whole bunch before the price increase, but I think you're only allowed 8. Then I forgot. So I was stuck paying the full price when it increased the next day.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Inflation, all that stuff. I've heard them say they're hiring more people, and the list goes on of probably expenditures that they have.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand people deserve to be paid what they're worth, and obviously your highest cost in any business is people. So I understand the need for it. It's just, I don't know, it kind of just hit you out of nowhere. And I guess I didn't like the presentation of it and kind of being placated to, if that makes sense, because it's like, oh, we're adding capital gold and we're adding a ruin of gold and elixir from the builder base. Really? From the builder? That's your incentive for me to buy a gold pass now is to, put more effort into the builder base? No, that is a once a month thing.
Okay, well, since you brought it up, I really need to ask you, because I know you mentioned it on your show. Let's talk about that really nice builder base scenery.
Oh boy. If by talk about you mean I didn't buy it, then yes, that's what I said. I did not buy it. And that's saying something coming from me, because I have bought every kind of scenery, skin, statue, lawn ornament, everything that they have put out to us, I have bought. But it literally sent me into a screeching halt, because I could not justify buying scenery for a builder base, because honestly, who sees it but me?
Exactly.
And I see it once a month. But if your main base has all the toys and somebody gets on and decides to visit you or whatever, and oh wow, Sino, you have this and that and this, and it's like, yep, I'm a collector. But nobody says that about the builder base, and I shudder to think no one ever will.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice color scheme, but I did not buy that one. Fado,
So
did you?
they finally came up with a scenery you guys wouldn't buy. I mean, that's something else. Right. I mean, I'd probably buy one out of every, maybe, just because, for I want to say they're usually like $9.99 US usually. So back in the day, that was 2 gold passes, and it's with these microtransactions, they add up. Right. So I'm just like, really blow me away. And there's actually one that I didn't buy that now I saw it on someone else's base recently, and I'm like, I really should have bought that painter's one. That I was looking at found someone, I looked at the detail, and I was like, oh, that's really good. I think
well,
the
Fado,
last
you bought the Dark Ages scenery, right?
I did. Not a lot of color there.
So I mean, but that's kind of, I mean, to me, that's one of the best sceneries and set of skins that they've come out with so far. So it's almost like you could drop the mic at that, and I don't think anybody would, chastise you for it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a way it's like, well, I'm picky and I reward them for the ones I really like. Like, I think the last one I bought the whole set of, obviously I said the 10th anniversary ones with the little video game guys, but the one before that I think was like either the summer or winter ones, because I love the winter scenery. They've had multiple winter ones and I love them. And even the summer one, I wasn't totally sold on until I saw all the heroes were lifeguards. I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally down with this. That's kind of funny. Got Baywatch.
I don't think I noticed that.
Got Baywatch going on here.
Oh, I would buy that scenery.
Oh, hey, family show.
Oh, PG-13, sorry.
All right. So that's pretty much, what we saw over the past year. And before we jump into questions from the audience, I just wanted to touch base on SECWL because it just ended. So how did everybody do? Fado, you want to handle the rated?
The less said, the better. We got demoted. It was a bit of a struggle this month. It's also not taken all that seriously. Like we were really good about donating. We were really good about not missing hits. But other than that, there was just no expectations. And so I'm not sure. We got beaten around a fair bit, but at the end of the day, like that's what we signed up for, right? We didn't sign up for multiple sketches and hours and hours of planning, spotting, all that. We were just show up, do your hit, make sure you do your hit, make sure you donate something. And
for Redthorn, we did not war in Redthorn, Maine this round. We sent 2 people over to the rated, and then the majority of our guys went over to TGF Rising because a bunch of our people were also on vacation. So we just thought, let's just run a relatively casual week over there. think they did okay over there. Did you have an account over there, Fado?
I did not. I was on vacation for the first half of CWL.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
So I just, and I know there was an honest mistake over in Shiny Gemeralds that I was going to have my 14 over there, but since I was on vacation, I was like, let me do everything I can so that fewer people are impacted by that honest mistake. And it legitimately was an honest mistake. That's just been a 15 instead of a 30. You know, that the only wars I did were in the rated.
Yeah, I was over there as well, but I think they stayed in Masters 1, so that was good. It was a good week for them. See, how did Shimmy do?
Shimmy promoted. Yeah, we kicked some butt.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You guys always kick butt over there, though.
Well, we've had our share of getting our butts kicked over the past few months, so we actually kind of settled in Masters 3, and we got promoted to Masters 2. So we're looking forward to getting our butts kicked next month. And on a personal note, I mentioned this on my podcast as well. I used the Grom Stomp attack that I learned from Grom at Sons of Guns, and I tripled 5 out of 7 attacks.
That's amazing.
Yes, and I can't thank him enough for that. So give him a call out on this episode as well for that, because I haven't done that well in CWL in 5 years.
Right. Yeah, I think I was like a TH13 when I last did something like that.
Right. So yeah, it was awesome for me. It really kept me more engaged. This CWO, because you have a tendency to go through the motions, right? So this CWO was actually fun, and we won. So I'm excited that we won. I'm just not looking forward to next month. So if there's any Max Town Hall 15s that would like to join us next month, now taking applications.
Where do I send it?
All right, let's dive into the questions from the audience. Fado.
Yeah. So, Kat, and I just want to clarify something. As I look at these questions, they're being asked of me or us? Us?
Us for the most part, yes.
Us. Okay. So I'll call upon the people. I'll give a brief answer. But you know me, I'll probably give long answers most of the time anyway. So where was I when I downloaded and played Clash of Clans for the first time? So I'll take this one first, guys. I was probably sitting on my couch about 40 feet from where I sit right here, and a floor up, and it was Christmas of 2013, I think, when it first came out for Android. So they ran a big ad campaign. It was on TV. I can't remember what I was watching. It was probably Baywatch. But there was an ad for this new mobile game, and boom. So I downloaded it, and interestingly, I'll add this nugget before I throw it to C-Note. Very early on, I think it was like a Town Hall 6 or 7. I was like, man, I was in my clan chat, not global. I said, is this all there is to this game? And then within like 3 or 4 months or whatever, they're like, boom, Clan Wars were released. And I was like, oh, I'm in for the long haul.
Oh boy.
How about you, C-Note? Where were you when you downloaded and played Clash for the first time?
I was in my garage playing Boom Beach. And if anybody knows Boom Beach, you know that you get one builder. So when you get up there in your buildings, it takes forever. So kind of picture Clash of Clans at Town Hall 14 with one builder. That's kind of how Boom Beach gets. I thought, well, while this is going, I need a game to play. I need something to do. And Supercell was obviously the creator of Boom Beach. So I'm like, well, let me see what else Supercell has. And once I got into Clash of Clans and then got into a clan and started, socializing with people, I'm like, this is it. Boom Beach became like a secondary game, and then it became a game that I wound up uninstalling because it was so boring compared to Clash of Clans. And I've been here ever since. How about you, Kat?
First heard about Clash, I was playing the Simpsons Tapped Out, and Homer would walk around with his little iPhone playing Clash of Clowns. And I was like, and someone said, well, that's a real game. And I said, well, I got to check this out. And then my son was playing it, and he asked me to join his clan. Yeah, then he quit about a week later, and I was stuck.
The way you pronounce that, like, it sounded like you said Clash of Clowns. Wasn't
I did.
that? Okay, very good. So C-Note, of all the people you've had on your podcast, and I know I haven't been around that super long, but do you have a favorite guest?
That's tough.
or someone you're really hoping to have on?
That's tough too. I'm blessed to have so many friends in this game. And I think while I'm kind of ducking the question, I will say that it's been very difficult to decide who comes on next, because if it were up to me, I'd get everybody on, at the same time, but I know that's impossible. So I have been going down the list of friends that I have and have acquired through this game, kind of one by one, trying to get them on the show, just to let them know that I appreciate them. It's tough. So I can't pick just one, because all the guests I've had so far are near and dear to my heart. And by picking one, I don't know. I just can't do it.
Yeah. How do I follow that up?
Yeah. So I noticed my mailbox has been empty after the mailman comes. So I know. I'll work on it. Kat, do you have a favorite guest?
You know what it is? It's the bus driver that we take on these Clash tours. The bus driver doesn't like Coke drinkers. And so I'm trying to convince him to allow you on the bus.
Good luck. Good luck. I heard he's quite a bouncer.
So for me, for P&T, we've had a lot of great guests, friends and people, that are involved in the game and what have you. And it's really hard, like Sino says, it's really hard to pick, because every time you have somebody on as a guest, they bring something special to that show. So, but, really exciting experience for me was interviewing a few people, Big Vale and Darian. Those are really highlights of being able to interview people. Of course, Sino.
Some guy named Sino.
And some guy named Ace.
Yeah. The interesting thing is they all bring something different. And there's a reason why people end up guests, right? They either work well with us, have a great personality, are cheerful, or have a unique perspective. And so there's like various reasons. You could have a favorite, personality that's been on. You can have the informative guy. I thought I really wish we could get some old school Clash Files people on, but I don't even know who they are, because I'm not as plugged in as, say, Kat. But there have been some really favorite. And Kat, you're so well plugged in that a lot of times you know these people so well that I'm like, okay, I don't really know who this person is, but I trust you, and I get them on, and it's like we're long lost friends. And it's like, oh man, you have great taste in the people you bring on and invite on. The people the couple that stand out, Darian has a really interesting backstory. I'm not even going to get into the others, because like Sino said, I'm going to omit someone on accident. But everyone who's been on, and even everyone who's joined us in voice chats on those regular nights that those are going on, like, we love you all. Like, there's a reason those voice chats happen regularly, and not like, okay, everyone, we're doing our monthly one. Question for Sino. Since Ace, Kat, Magnus, and Trample Damage have all publicly announced that they're Team Pepsi, when do you expect me to announce my switch to the dark side?
Well, wasn't this part of the intervention, the reason for this podcast? You're gonna come out of the closet with your Pepsi love? No? Do I have that wrong?
I think there's some phrasing that needs to be worked out. But I'll have you know, like, when it comes to diet drinks, I'm not talking about zero sugar. I prefer Diet Pepsi to Diet Coke 100 days out of 100. I don't
even know you anymore.
I grew up in a split home. My dad was a Coke guy. My mom was a Pepsi drinker. And my dad got a lot of things wrong, but not that one.
Well, Fado, I'm editing this podcast, right? So by the time I'm done, that'll be edited to say I like Pepsi and not Coke.
So you're gonna be stitching everything together. It's gonna sound like, I like Pepsi, not.
Well, you did say both words in the same sentence, so all I have to do is take out the diet, and we're good.
Newsflash: next week, Kat records alone.
All right. See how this goes. You're doing a deep fake on me. I love that you're going to go to that length. Okay, Kat.
Well, I know who asked the question, so I had to do it for them.
Yeah. All right. I hear you. Feel you. Okay, Kat. Do you like the new Builder Base and Builder Robot? And what is your favorite attack strategy on Builder Base?
To be honest, I don't really pay attention. There's not much on Builder Base that's changed for me, other than my attack style has become complete spam. I used to be a lot more surgical in how I attack bases, and now it's just P.E.K.K.A.s, the builder guy, some super wall breakers, whatever they're called over there,
and a force close,
and just just walk away. because I don't really care if I get 6 stars on it or 3 stars. As long as I get 1 star, that's all I care about.
Collect your gems, right?
I'm sorry, Supercell.
See,
But that's how I feel.
All right, see, I'm gonna change this question up a little bit for you. Tell me a good thing about the remade Builder Base.
You get to upgrade the gem bind.
Yay!
Gems more frequently, more of them. I don't know.
I don't know if you're not watching me on camera, but that's a big W for you, man. All right,
Oh, my
so
goodness.
I'm not going to answer that. I'd basically do the baby drags and pray. So Kat and C-Note, we are upon a question that might take you guys an hour to answer. So why don't, and just for our listeners, at some point we are going to take a short break so that we can break up the recording a bit, but onward we roll. We probably have about 10 minutes until we're going to do that. Anyway, back to your original programming. What are your favorite hero skins, Kat, and scenery, and why?
My favorite scenery is the shadow scenery. I love the dark kind of medieval theme, and people always whine and complain that they can't see the base properly, but that's kind of the idea. Camouflage. It's probably one of the few sceneries that actually contributes to the game, like can actually have an impact on it, I think, when someone's attacking. That's my favorite scenery. And my favorite skin as a set is the magic set. I just think it's the most cohesive. It's one with all the heroes have white hair, and plus they're easier to see on the base. If it was a single skin, it would be the Warrior Queen, and that was the one that you had to buy in the shop, and just kind of has a black hair. I don't know if you guys got her or not.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
The limited edition that they brought back twice for people to purchase. Yeah, I got that one.
That's right. Really limited. Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah. What do you think, C? Do you have a favorite set or a scenery?
I'm kind of on the side of Kat. I like the magic skins. I thought those were incredible. And as far as the scenery goes, I'd have to go with the Dark Ages scenery. I really enjoyed that a lot. And it's not very often I can say that like they hit a home run with sceneries. I think like a close second would be the current scenery. I really am digging the future scenery. I think the spaceships are cool. I think the aesthetics are cool. It's just kind of like pleasing on the eyes, so to speak. Kind of like a Pepsi can.
Oh boy. Fado.
So,
what about you?
All right. Are you guys both sound on or sound off on the game?
On.
Off.
Do you play sound on with the Dark Ages scenery? Because there's a little, and I think Storm Rider is going to enjoy this one. There's a little bit of a part of the music that plays on the Dark Ages scenery where I swear I'm listening to "I've Been Waiting for a Girl Like You" by Foreigner. It's like dee, 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 dee. And I hear that, and then I have an earworm for the rest of the day. So wouldn't that make it anyone's favorite, right? Everyone love to be reminded of Foreigner.
I have never noticed that before. Now I've got to go listen to it.
You will hear it now. And good luck getting it out of your brain.
Well, thank you for that.
All right. Switching gears a bit. We're going to talk Super Troops. Kat, do you think it's Super Troop or bust in order to triple? Or like to play your best?
I think so. I rarely see attacks that don't have at least one Super Troop. I think in some attacks you probably could just use regular troops. But I think people are just becoming reliant on that little extra buff that you get from a Super Troop, especially at Town Hall 15. Lower levels, yeah, you can probably ignore the Super Troops.
Taking a lot of flack over here. I need to close the chat window and just shove it off.
Chat is blowing up.
And so thank God I have my camera on. I can communicate to Ace that way. But anyway, Sino, what's your take on the Super Troops? Like, I think the Super Wall Breaker is almost a given at this point, right? But I mean, beside that, do you usually I'm thinking you're like in a super hog mode right now, right?
Yeah. And I never used to be well, that's not true. I've been using super archers forever now, but I guess I can see both sides because we've been dealing with Clash of Dragons for like a year now. And those obviously are not a super troop, even though people were using super dragons when they first came out until they got nerfed. But I don't feel that you can't watch a replay these days without seeing it at least one, right? So yeah, I guess I kind of side on the super trooper bust.
Yeah, because I guess a couple of the hits you could do without would be that like Flybrid. Like you could probably do that without super troops.
Yeah.
But I'm struggling. Now that there's super hogs, you can mix them up with into the regular ground-based hybrid, I guess, but you really need super wall breakers for that, even if you don't take the super hogs or super miners.
Right. There's always some form of super troop. Like you said, the super wall breaker is almost a given now with any attack. You throw in the super hog, which is the new hotness, right? Just came out not too long ago. Everybody's trying it. It's part of the Grom stomp attack that I was just describing not too long ago. And so it's got me on board, and I was not a hogger. I was not a hybrid guy. I hadn't used hogs since like 1976, which is like Town Hall 7. And now I'm on board.
They weren't even out at Town Hall 7, you goofball.
I might have just aged myself. Sorry.
All right. Okay, chat. I'm getting ready to close you. All right, C-Note. How do you think it would affect the game if you could gear up every tower like an archer tower, a mortar, or a cannon?
I mean, just those three, like all of them. Like you're saying, like every archer tower that you have, every mortar that you have, no other defenses, right? Just those.
Yeah. Stick to the ones that can be geared up, but you're unlimited on the number that you can.
I mean, honestly, are you afraid of a multi-mortar? Are you afraid of a archer tower that's like lowered and shoots faster? Nobody's afraid of that stuff. They're all afraid of the monolith, the eagle, the infernos, scatter shots. They're all afraid of the big ones. No one is afraid. It's kind of like no one finds religion until they're over 70, right? That's what these defenses are. No one is afraid of them until you're down to 30 seconds left and you've got like maybe 10 barbs, 2 archers, and a dying queen, and you're facing these. That's when people are afraid of them. So I don't think it would really have a lot of effect.
Kat?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the ranges, right, like they may shoot a little bit faster, but their range is so much smaller. So, you could plop your warden out of range and they'll just destroy everything on the outer edge. And, you'd lose that nice long range that a ground expo has if they geared that up. Or, I mean, even a mortar has a huge range, whereas a multi-mortar doesn't. So.
All right. So, okay, that's interesting. Nothing really, it doesn't really throw off a plan, but it like if you misjudge the damage that they do when you're doing something with, say, like a log launcher or a flame flinger, that's when it's like, oh, whoops, that multi-mortar really kind of wrecked that. Why can't you self-donate if you are not in a clan?
Well, that's a good question. I think it has something to do with the fact that Clash is a social game, and the whole point of it is to be part of a group. It's not Clash by yourself, right? It's Clash of Clans.
I knew you were going to say that. I was already starting to laugh before you said it.
Well, it's true, right? It's like, I mean, unless you're locked out of a clan, then I could see a point of, especially with their recruiting system that they have now, but that's a whole nother show and I don't want to go into it. How does somebody find a clan? Like if you're not savvy to looking on Reddit and some of the other places, there's really not an easy way for someone starting out in the game to find a clan to join. Like,
any thoughts on that?
An active clan. Yeah.
C-Note.
I think that's the dumbest feature that this game has. I'm just not going to sugarcoat it because that's the premise of my podcast is Clash Tours. So I'm on the road and I'm not in a clan. I can't self-donate. That's dumb. Like, really, what is the point? Like, to encourage you to join a clan? So if I join a dead clan that doesn't give donations, I can self-donate to myself? That's dumb. Try again, Supercell.
I can't argue with that logic.
All right, one more. What do I think? I'm always in a clan. I'm a man who's desired and sought after. The second I hit the market, my inbox is flooded with invitations because I like to feel needed. Well, I am needed. So it's important for me to feel needed, and that's how I get that. I never had this problem.
It's because you have max bowlers.
Nope, nothing. With my big rocks. So, all right, last question before we take a quick break. So, Kat, what do you think of a simple addition to the SCCWL stats? Instead of just showing stars and cumulative destruction, show like offense and defense, like plus minus versus the same town hall only. What do you think?
Well, aren't most of those stats available like in Minion Bot or Ruby or any of those other bots? So,
well, ask the person who submitted the question. I'm just reading these things, man. Don't get mad.
Yeah,
I hate when you get mad at me.
I'm so angry. But I think, like, why put valuable time and resources into developing something that probably has already been invented? It's like we talked about with Discord, right? There's somebody already providing that service, so I don't really think it's necessary in game.
Yeah, I mean, in business parlance, they call that stick with your core competency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, C-Note, you were going to say?
Was I? I mean, I'm a stats guy, so I say the more stats, the better. Especially like if I can turn my crappy attacks into some positive via stats, I'm all for it. Plus, minus, whatever. Bring it on. I love stats.
Oh, really? Name one.
Pepsi, greater sign, Coke.
Oh boy.
Pepsi 1, Coke 0.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. So folks, we're gonna take a break. Kat's gonna hit the stop button. So this is gonna make it easier for our editors, and Kat's stopping me.
Thank you for listening to part 1 of our very special live episode. Listen to part 2 on Clash Tours podcast. The link to C Notes podcast will be in the podcast notes.